Welcome to the July 28th, 2021 meeting of the Urban Design Commission. My name is Lee Peoples. I'm the chair of the commission. The following guidelines are in place for meetings in the City Council chambers at City Hall. Only the south entrance to City Hall will be open. For exiting the building, all accesses can be used. Air purifying machines have been installed in the chamber. Hand sanitizer machines and face masks will be available. When called on, applicants and speakers will come to the front of the podium to speak. Only one person at a time should come to the podium. Speak into the microphone, please. Identify yourself and give us your address for the record when you begin speaking. Address your comments to the commission. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items by responding to the chair's call for speakers during discussion on each item and signing the speaker's log on the podium. All comments must be relevant to the item to be heard. The chair or presiding officer may, in his or her discretion, prohibit a person from addressing the commission and/or remove that person from council chambers if that person commits any disorderly or disruptive behavior. Please refer to the meeting agenda for more information about the requirements. If you parked in the Sheridan Walker parking garage north of John Rex Elementary, staff can give you a parking validation ticket. The agenda and documents are located on PrimeGov. You would select Urban Design Commission meeting. Once there, you can click on an agenda item and the documents will come up below the item. I would like to introduce our new CPUD Administrative Coordinator, Princess Bennett. I would also like to thank Administrative Coordinator Mark Collier for everything he has done to make our virtual meetings go so smoothly these past few months. Princess, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Peoples.
Present.
Commissioner Uday.
Present.
Commissioner Black.
Present.
Commissioner Charneka.
Present.
Commissioner Guillory. Commissioner Holmes. Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Wynn.
Present.
Commissioner Varnum. That completes the roll call. We have quorum.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the minutes from our May 26, 2021 meeting. Does anyone have any corrections to those? If not, could I have a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
We have a motion by Blatt. Just waiting for PrimeGov to load this up.
We will have to do a voice roll call.
Okay, so we have a motion by Blatt. Can we have a voice second, please?
Second.
We have a second by Miller. So would you call the roll, please, for the vote?
Commissioner Peoples.
Aye.
Commissioner Uday.
Aye.
Commissioner Black.
Aye.
Commissioner Charneka.
Aye.
Commissioner Miller. Oh, shoot.
Aye.
And Commissioner Wynn.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. The minutes are approved. We have no cases withdrawn. We have no continuance requests. We have 2 items on the consent docket. Anyone may request individual consideration of a consent item. Would any commissioner like to request individual consideration? Any member of the public would like to request consideration? Okay, we have had no requests for individual consideration. Could we have a motion to approve it? I guess we'll try PrimeGov and see if it's working. So yes, it is working now. If anybody would like to, we have a motion to approve by Nguyen. We have a second by Commissioner Blatt. And hopefully we can cast our votes here in just a minute. Yeah, go ahead and cast your votes on the consent docket.
Motion passed.
Do you want to have her call them out? Could you just announce the votes, please? I didn't see that it passed or who voted for what.
All ayes.
Just for the record.
All ayes, motion passes.
Good, you want her to name I did not.
And then name all those.
Would you mind naming them?
Commissioner Peoples?
Aye.
Commissioner Uday?
Aye.
Commissioner Black?
Aye.
Commissioner Charnico?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye.
Commissioner Wynn?
Aye.
Okay, consent docket approved unanimously. So that moves us on to item 6A, cases for individual consideration. And the first item is A, UDCA-21-19.
Double-click.
I'd ask staff to give us an introduction and overview of this item, please.
Yes, this is an item on Northwest 23rd Street at 313 Northwest 23rd. The issue is that paint has been applied to the stonework above the storefront of the building, have black in the center with the gold boundary around the tops and the sides, with a gold paint applied also to the front edge of the metal canopy at this building. As we've described in the staff report, there are policies and guidelines contained in the building rehabilitation and renovation guidelines of the City of Oklahoma City that suggest that masonry materials should not be painted. So the paint that was applied is counter to a guideline that applies in this particular area. We have worked for a period of time with the property owner and the applicant to try and determine whether or not if there's a way to remove the paint without damaging the stonework. At this point, we haven't had enough information supplied by the applicant as to what methods they have researched or what consultants and specialists they have consulted with to find a way to remove the paint. And because of that, we are recommending that the commission continue this item to allow the applicant more time to research those methods and hopefully come up with a solution that will restore the building to its former appearance and not damage the stone in the process.
Any questions for staff?
Does the applicant take exception to the continuance?
No, we've talked to the applicant and they're consistent with, or they're okay with the continuance. And again, we are recommending continuance to September. And the reason for that is because to make the August agenda, we'd have to have their new materials next week, and we don't expect that to happen. So we're going to give them a little extra time to come back to the September meeting.
Okay. That seems very reasonable to me. Is the applicant present? If the applicant would like to speak at all, you don't have to. We understand that you're willing to accept the continuance.
My name is William Rowe. I'm the GC on the job. I was actually brought in after the paint was applied. So we are researching ways to remove the paint, but as Mr. Philbrick said, we are requesting a continuance as well. Every avenue that we have explored will hurt the rock, and it just damages the stone.
Okay. Could you give us your address for the record, please? Your
Business address?
Yes.
225 West Frisco, Roth, Oklahoma, 74865.
Any questions for the applicant? Yeah, go ahead and sign in, please.
I did.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Any member of the public that wishes to speak to this item? Oh, go ahead. Please sign in and give us your name and address.
Ready. My name is Stephen Tyler. Address is 2608 Northwest 4th Street, Oklahoma City, 73107. I'm here representing a fellow business on the street of Uptown 23rd. I also sit on the board of Uptown 23rd, serve on the bid committee for Uptown 23rd, and represent some of the property owners who have worked within the Uptown 23rd district. And we're just urging the commission to we've been in communication with Mr. Philbrick and understand that they're working on trying to find these solutions. We definitely urge them to go with the staff's recommendation to continuance and allow time to find it, because so much effort has gone into this district to restore these historic buildings, and we've seen the positive benefits of that. Even when the Rise was doing their renovation, they uncovered similar stonework and were forced to change their designs and comply with the design guidelines. And so we're just urging that we do that. It sounds like that's the direction everybody's going, but we just wanted to make sure we understood. We'd also like to just formally say that we are reaching out to business owners and would like to connect with them to help, really fold them into the fabric of what's going on and the mission that we're on. We're very excited about the bid implementation in the last year and really looking forward to the streetscape project coming forward. So we feel like there's a pivotal moment in the Uptown District to really solidify the styles and the nature of it, and the historic facades are definitely a huge part of that. I also happen to know, as the business owner who's maintaining a historic facade, they are lucky that they don't have a 35-foot neon marquee to update because that thing goes out all the time. But paint can be ongoing maintenance costs, and so while there might be some struggle to get it removed and get it restored, I think in the long run it's going to be honestly a cost savings to keep that facade looking great and honoring the district. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other members of the public that would like to speak to this item? Commissioners, we have an applicant that's agreeable to the staff recommendation for continuance. I don't know if there's any discussion or a motion on the possible continuance.
I'll make a motion to continue the application on the basis that the project does not meet the regulations and/or guidelines of the Building Conservation and Rehabilitation Guidelines for Oklahoma City as referenced in Section D of the staff report.
So is your motion to continue the item?
To continue.
Okay. Do you have the option to move that on PrimeGov? Mine just popped up.
Done.
Okay. We have a motion to continue to the September date by Blatt. And we have a September 20, I'm sorry, staff, can you give me the date of that?
It's the fourth Wednesday. I don't know the date, unfortunately.
It is September 22nd.
September 22nd, okay. Motion by Blatt and seconded by Miller. We may have to do roll call. We don't see the option to vote in PrimeGov. Would you like us to do a roll call vote?
I saw all the votes.
I'm sorry, I did not vote in
Did
PrimeGov.
everyone vote?
No.
Okay.
Call them for you. Roll call.
Okay, I will do a roll call vote. Commissioner Peoples?
Aye.
Commissioner Uday?
Aye.
Commissioner Blatt?
Aye.
Commissioner Charneco?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye.
Commissioner Wynn?
Aye.
Vote passes.
Okay, this item is continued to our September meeting. Next on the agenda is item 6B, UDCA 21-24. Ask staff to give us an overview of this, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an item located at 2001 Northwest 23rd Street. It's the current location of what was formerly a Taco Bueno restaurant, which has been vacated for quite a few months now. The applicant's proposing to demolish that building and then build a new structure, a new parking lot, install sidewalks, signage, and lighting, along with landscaping improvements and a trash enclosure. The plans are in your packet for your review. Essentially, this project is in compliance with all applicable design guidelines and development standards. We have analyzed the proposed or requested demolition of the structure and found that we don't believe it is don't believe it is architectural or historically significant, and therefore we're recommending approval of that demolition. The major issue with this proposed project is the setbacks, and the code requires that buildings along in the 23rd Street corridor be set at or within 10 feet of the property line, the front property line, and that also applies to the side property line when it abuts a street. In this case, the applicant worked very hard initially to avoid a variance request. They have had bad experiences with their jurisdictions with variances, and they chose to try and avoid that. When they did that, however, they were successful in locating the building within 10 feet of the front property line and within 10 feet of the side property line. However, To do that, they had to turn the building backwards and put an electrical room at the front of the building facing Northwest 23rd Street. And we've described this scenario in the staff report in some detail. The reason for that is because the drive-through window on the west side of the building that faces the drive-through lane needs to be on a straight portion of the drive-through lane, not on a curve. And if they put the building so the reason they flipped the building is to get that window on a straight shot of the drive-through lane. However, that created a problem for our staff because we ended up with basically a blank facade of the building facing 23rd, and the glazed portion of the east elevation toward the north and away from the intersection. We realized after looking at it in some detail that the best way to move forward would to get that glazing up at the front of the building at the corner. And they can do that by flipping the building over, not rotating it, but flipping it. But again, that brought the drive-through window on the west side of the building up too close to the property line, and so it was in a situation where it was the drive-through lane is curving away from the building, and that's not going to be functional for their drive-through operations. So the only way to solve that particular problem and get the glazing at the south and the east elevations near the corner is to allow them to move the building back so that that window aligns with the southernmost straight portion of the drive-through lane. And to do that, it has to be more than 10 feet away from the front property line. So we worked with them hand in hand through the machinations that it took us to get the plans you see in front of you today, and suggested to them that we thought that in order to get the glazing where we want it to be on the front of the building and the side, that we would support the variance request for the setback. And that's kind of where we stand today, and we're prepared to respond to any questions the commission may have.
Any questions for staff? Is the applicant present? Would you come up, please sign in and give us your name and address as well?
Sure thing. My name is Ethan Prescott, and my address is 4851 LBJ Freeway, Dallas, Texas 75224.
Okay.
And if there's any questions that the commission has for me, I'd be willing to answer any at this time, or if there's any additional clarity that you'd want me to provide, I'm happy to do that as well. I just wanted to thank the city and the city staff and Michael Philbrick for all of his assistance through this. It's been a process. This building doesn't really have any interior outside of for employees only, so there's not a true front-facing side of the building, and we were able to make modifications, like Michael mentioned, to make it look, but ultimately to activate it a little bit more, to get that presence, to have some more walk-up presence to the side canopy of the building, where there is a little area to go and grab a coffee and be over there. We felt it was best to go through this variance process, and we couldn't have done it without Michael's guidance, and really appreciate. We develop all across the country, and he's been nothing but stellar to work with. And you guys have a very good planner on your city staff, and you should take a lot of pride in that. So I just wanted to thank him for all of his assistance throughout this process.
Thanks. Any questions from the commission for the applicant? Not hearing anything right now. We might call you back up later, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any members of the public that would like to speak on this item? Not hearing anything. Commissioners, any discussion?
I just want to get clarity more than anything. We've had a couple cases come before us in regards to demolitions. Is there anything that we are tasked to consider outside of just the existing structure, and whether or not that there's going to be some loss architecturally?
Staff can respond to that, but I think the staff report discusses the historic guidelines that are in
I
place.
believe this building was built in 1986, so there's obviously no historical significance to the building, and the architecture is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we didn't see any significance there that would require us or to even consider concerning ourselves with the demolition.
I was curious, so there's a parking lot. Is that for employees, or is it possible to like walk up and purchase coffee?
Yeah, the parking lot, we actually asked a lot of questions about that when we saw it because we knew that there wasn't a lot of sit-down, there's no sit-down space inside the restaurant for public. So we thought, well, why do they need a parking lot? And it turns out it is for mostly employees.
Okay.
But there are also people that would be able to, if the line was particularly long and they saw it was long, and believe me, I've been to a few of these places across the country and they do get to be long when they first open up at least, that they would have the option to park in that small parking lot and get out and go order at the window.
I think there's a competitor on maybe 30th in May that has a similar setup where most people drive, but you can park and run up there.
Right.
To respond to Commissioner Uday's question, we do have, just to specifically reference the staff report and the ordinance, the commission is asked to consider the impact of the demolition on the design, form, or urban character of the district and the historic significance of the property. So we did not feel that, based on its age, it was historically significant by any means, and did not feel that it was contributing in a beneficial way to the design, form, or urban character of the district.
And that restaurant, is it open or has it been closed for some time?
It's been closed for some
Okay,
time.
yes. Any other discussion on this item? The staff report includes a recommendation that could be a motion, and this is a multi-part one because of the need for a variance.
I can go ahead and put forward a motion.
Okay.
To approve the application on the basis that the project meets the regulations and the guidelines of the Urban Design Overlay District Zoning Ordinance as referenced in section C and D of the staff report, with the condition that the shall applicant obtain approval of a variance from the Board of Adjustment from the maximum 10-foot front building line requirement.
All right, we have a motion by Charnico. We'll see if Prime Gov is going to cooperate. Okay, Prime Gov shows that it was moved by Charnico. I don't know if anyone has a option to second. We're not seeing an option to second. Should we go ahead and do that? Oh, no, now it's up. Okay, now it's, what should we do this orally?
I'll take the second.
Okay,
I'll take a verbal on the
now
second.
we have a motion by Charnico, a second by Blatt. Prime Gov is showing second and a first motion by others, but we'll go with verbally what we have here, and we'll see if it will let us cast our votes.
No, it's not going to let them cast their votes, not at this point.
I will call a verbal vote.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Peoples,
Aye.
Commissioner Uday,
Aye.
Commissioner Blatt,
Aye.
Commissioner Charnico,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Wynn.
Aye.
Oh, Commissioner Varno. Commissioner Varno?
Aye.
Okay, so that completes and approves this item on 1A, and there's a second part to this. If we want, we could make a recommendation to the Board of Adjustment for a variance for the 10-foot front building line requirement. Any other discussion on that item? If anyone would like to make a motion, there is a proposed motion in the staff report.
I could make that motion as well.
Okay.
to provide a recommendation of approval to the Board of Adjustment for a variance from the maximum 10-foot front building line requirement.
We have a motion by Charnico. Anyone like to make a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Blatt. And let's go ahead with a verbal roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Peoples?
Aye.
Commissioner Uday?
Aye.
Commissioner Blatt?
Aye.
Commissioner Charnico?
Aye.
Commissioner Miller?
Aye.
Commissioner Wynn?
Aye.
Commissioner Varno?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have approved that application and made a favorable recommendation to the Board of Adjustment. Good luck to you. Moving on down the agenda, we have no other business. We have quite a few administrative approval items that do not require any action by us, but if anybody would like staff to discuss any of these, speak up now. Any comments from Planning Department staff?
No, not today, sir.
Okay. Any comments from the commissioners? Thank you, everyone, for being here in person. We'll see if we're back again in the future. Hopefully so. That brings us to the end of the agenda. Our next meeting is Wednesday, August 25th. New applications were to have been submitted by 4 p.m. Tuesday, July 27th. And with that, we are adjourned.